What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to wash your bike if you live in an apartment complex or if you don't have access to running water. So here are some of the things that you'll need. You don't need everything that you see here, but all of these tools will be very helpful. So the first step we want to wash off the chain and the rear cassette and those areas that have a lot of grease, grit, and grime. So what I have here is a garden sprayer, so you can get this off of Amazon. Most of the tools in this video you can get off of Amazon or Home Depot, Target, Walmart. So the garden sprayer is really going to be your hose replacement. So you just fill it up with water, you pressurize it, and then you can basically spray it just like a water hose. So I just rinsed off the chain area first, and now I'm using a chain cleaner tool as well as some degreaser just to clean off the chain. So you can use bike specific degreaser, or I just pretty much use this product called Simple Green, or you can even use dish soap. I mean, dish soap is perfectly fine to wash your bike off with. So this chain cleaner just has these brushes inside that makes it easy to clean your chain off. You can see all the black water that comes off afterwards. So once you put the degreaser on, I like to just once I agitate it pretty well, just rinse it off, get all the product off, get all the grease, grit, and grime off. The chain area is definitely the most dirty part of the bike. So if you don't even wash any other part of your bike, definitely I would just recommend washing this area, because it will increase the life of your bike. Just this little bit of maintenance right here, it'll make your bike quieter and just make for a better ride. So right here you see me just cleaning out the chain tool, and now this stuff right here is just some bike specific like soap or bike wash. Like I said, you can definitely just use like Dawn dish soap, that's perfectly fine. But this stuff right here is biodegradable, so it doesn't really matter if it runs off into the water streams. Since it's bike specific, it says that it's safe for disc brakes and chains and paint and everything, so I just use it kind of everywhere on the bike. So right here I'm just kind of going over it again with the bike specific wash or soap to clean off the degreaser and any extra grit or grease or grime that's on the chain and rear cassette and stuff like that. And of course just make sure to wash everything off. So right here I'm just doing basically the first rinse of the bike. So my bike's not that dirty, and I think these wheels are actually brand new in this video, so it might not look that dirty, but this is kind of just for demonstration purposes. So the first thing you want to do is just rinse everything off with just straight water. So if your bike is really muddy, this is the opportunity where you're going to get the bulk of the mud and grime just off the bike, just with water. Because in the next steps that's where we're going to use the soap and the brushes to really agitate stuff. But you just want to get as much off as possible with straight water. And of course, make sure you get both sides of your bike, front, back, bottom, top, all areas. And right here you can definitely spray all areas. For certain products I'll show you, you don't want to get them in certain areas, especially your disc brakes, but water and stuff, that's perfectly fine to get on your brakes or chain and things like that. So what do you see here? This is actually a foam, I think, tire cleaner from like a car company. They make this little product right here. It basically just you just put in your soap or your bike wash and water, and it kind of foams it up. So if any of you guys are familiar with car washing or car detailing, if those guys are doing like a touchless car wash, they'll use foam. Basically foam I don't really know the specifics of it, but foam just, you know, lifts up the dirt and grease better. So I just have like this mini one, which is designed for car wheels, which I actually use for my bike. So, you know, you just put in like a quarter soap or the bike wash, and then 3/4 just water. You pressurize it up just like the garden sprayer, and then it will turn your soap into this foam spray. So the foam is just a little bit better in my opinion for cleaning all inside the nooks and crannies. But like I said, not everything in this video is absolutely necessary. You could definitely get away with just a sponge and some soap, but I feel like this just cleans it up a little bit better. So this is what I like to do. You know, when I wash my bike, it's actually kind of relaxing for me. I actually kind of enjoy washing it, so I do all these extra steps which aren't totally necessary, but that's just what I like to do. And you know, your bike will look good for a long time if you keep good maintenance of it, keep it clean and things like that. So here you see me just, you know, soaping up all areas of the bike. And like I said, this soap is biodegradable, so the overspray is not really a problem. And this particular bike wash is perfect for, or suitable for, all areas of the bike. So your disc brakes, chain, paint, seat, handlebars, it won't do any damage to any of those areas of the bike. So it's perfectly fine for that. So next, now we use the brushes to actually agitate any dirt or built up grime that's on the bike. So a lot of the tools I have, like my brushes or the chain cleaner, is from a company called Park Tool. You can definitely find all of their products on Amazon. So this particular brush is kind of just like the general purpose brush, which I use on the paint, handlebars, seat, the sides of the wheels. But you want to be careful not to really get your main brush on your chain and on your brakes, because you definitely can contaminate your brakes if you get any type of grease or oils on them. So me personally, I don't really scrub my brakes or, you know, brake pads, the rotors. If I were to clean those, I would probably just take them off and use some specific brake cleaner. So right here, I'm really just going over the frame, handlebars, seat post, and the sides of my wheels. So you'll see me, you know, reapply soap as needed or bike wash as needed. And the reason I don't go over the actual tread of the wheels is, you know, similarly to before, you know, you don't want to basically take dirt off the treads of the wheels, which are normally the dirtiest part, and, you know, kind of transfer that to other parts of the bike, just like you don't want to really transfer any leftover grease from the chain to other parts of the bike. So I have this brush right here, just like a smaller brush. It's like my secondary brush. So I'll use this one in the harder to get areas, and I don't think I showed in this video, but I'll also use this brush on the actual treads of the tires if they're you know, pretty dirty, just to get all of that mud out of there. So pretty much, you know, the takeaway from here is you should probably have two brushes, one main brush or one main sponge for like the frame and the big areas, and then another brush for kind of the smaller areas which are harder to get to. You know, definitely make sure you get around the areas near your chain, because, you know, dust and stuff get flicked up, you know, near your seat post, pedals, all those areas. So now everything should be, you know, relatively clean. Now we're just going to rinse all the soap off, any excess dirt, once again using the garden sprayer. The one I have is about 2 gallons, which I find is actually good for washing 2 bikes if your bikes aren't that dirty. But like I said, you can find these in all different shapes and sizes on Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. You can get 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 5 gallon. So this is really the key to washing your bike in an apartment where you don't have access to a hose or running water, because this is basically your running water. You know, you just fill it up, and then you pump it up to pressurize the bottle, and then you just you know, have this hose in your hand and you have pressurized water. You can also change like the intensity of the water. I kind of just have it in the medium setting. Some people say not to have it on too harsh of a setting, so you don't want to blow out the grease and stuff from your bearings, but I've never really had those issues. Just use a medium setting, nothing too crazy. So next, we just want to dry it off. So what I have is a kind of like a mini air blower, or like a mini leaf blower. Like I said, definitely all these tools aren't super necessary. You could definitely just do this with a towel. But I kind of prefer this rechargeable mini leaf blower because it blows out all of the water from the nooks and crannies. So, obviously once we rinse off the bike, we have to dry it. And you want to dry it fairly quickly, just so that, things don't start to rust. So things on your bike or car or any mechanical machine will start to rust if you don't dry them off quickly. So I just use that little rechargeable leaf blower to blow out the water from the nooks and crannies. So it doesn't dry it completely, so I still have to come back behind it with a towel just to dry off some of the bigger surfaces like the frame, handlebars, seat, things like that. And then you'll see me in a second actually come back with the mini leaf blower to just get the water out of all the little bolts and holes that are in the bike, just to make sure everything is completely dry. That's probably one of the most important parts, is definitely making sure that you dry everything off once you rinse it off, because you don't want things to rust. So we're almost done here. This step is also optional, but something that I think is pretty important if you have disc brakes. So basically these are just disc brake covers. It's like a Velcro thing you just put over the brakes. And the purpose of this is so that if you have any, sprays, which I'm about to use, you don't want to get any of this stuff on your disc brakes, because that could contaminate them, and then that leads to, squeaky brakes, or brakes that don't really work as well. So I just cover them up for the next couple steps. Next I have just some matte detailer. This is actually from a car company. So the paint on my bike is obviously matte black, so I just like to use a little bit of this detailer to preserve the paint, make it a little bit better. Definitely not a required step, but yeah, if you spend a lot of money on your bike, you definitely want to keep it looking good as long as possible. So if you didn't have a matte paint, if you had like, I guess, a regular paint, you can definitely get like a silicone spray, which will make it shiny and things like that. But definitely make sure that you either don't spray it near your brakes or cover them up like I have. So we're almost at the end here. This is actually probably the most important step of all. So once you thoroughly clean your chain off, you have to lube it up with some bike-specific chain lube. So there's different kinds. There's dry lube, wet lube. I just use dry because I mostly ride in dry conditions. But you have to just keep your chain lubricated. You don't want it to be dry and rusted up, so definitely lubricate it. Finally, just have some more products from this company called Muck Off. Muck Off is a big player in the bike cleaning game. They have a bunch of products and tools and stuff. So this is, I think it's honestly kind of like WD-40. It's similar to that. On the bottle, it's just like a kind of general purpose spray that like is anti-corrosion, lubricating. So I just kind of spray it on my rear cassette and rear pulleys and things like that. And here you'll see me take a rag and just kind of wipe off the excess oil, because the excess oil would just attract dirt, so just wipe that off. And here's the finished product. So I think it looks pretty good. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Expect like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect him coming.